Hello, everybody. It's Friday night, and it is class for our Childbirth class series. I am that you guys are here. I thought for a second I was going dark. You guys are here to hang out with me on a Friday night. And especially, I love to see familiar faces when I turn on my streaming software and it says there are a couple people waiting in the chat. It's just like, so happy for this teacher. And I am prepared to bring it tonight and hopefully make the most of your childbirth education viewing. I'm going to take a quick sip of my tea. Let me know what you guys are enjoying as you're watching. Hello to Jeff and Judy and Monique and Hunter. Welcome back, you guys. Great to see your faces. Great to see you in the chat. The chat, if you haven't gotten in the chat yet, please know that every message is just like, it's so helpful both for me to get feedback and I think for you as a learner. If you put things in the chat like that, it's like aha moment, like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Put it in the chat. Help other people out, like pulling away the pieces of what I'm talking about that makes sense to you. Again, put also questions in there or thoughts, or if you don't agree and you're like, tell me more, I don't understand that. I want to hear that in the chat too. I want it to be a heavy chat night because, well, I think it will be, because we're talking about a couple things and I'm going to share a strategy that frankly, a lot of people don't like. And it's so important and such a great strategy that I really want us to have a good conversation about it. And hopefully I can put you in the camp of accepting this strategy and liking this strategy. Okay, thank you, Christina. I was wondering about the quality of the video, slightly blurry. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get better. And I'm also in Seattle, so I'm wave out the window to you. I'm up on the Finney Ridge. If anyone knows that area of Seattle. Let's see, Samantha, Monday. Continuing to the weekend that I'm doing a giveaway on both Saturday and Sunday nights, Sunday during our stream. So, and it's only going to be open for live viewers. So, just a little something to hopefully entice people away from their crazy childbirth. Yes, awesome. Thank you, Hunter. It's going to get better. That's right. You know, today I was watching a live stream myself because I like to watch other people do live streams, especially those that aren't gamers, because that doesn't really help me. But watching another live streamer today, and he is talks about business. He's, you know, multimillionaire, tons of, I don't know, subscribers. And as soon as I turned it on, his video was blurry. And people were in his chat were actually not supportive like Hunter. They were like dogging him, like, dude, you can afford better Wi-Fi. Oh no, the video is freezing and the audio is cutting out. Let me know if that's happening. I'm going to post a comment. Take a sip of whatever you're drinking or eating while I do that. So, thank you, Hunter. Okay, we'll see if I'm just going to keep going and we're just going to try to make it work. I promise you that is top of my priority this weekend to figure out how to hardwire into my network. And probably it will be, you know, downstairs. So you might not see the surrounding on Saturday. Show up to see. Okay. Also, thanks for just hanging in there through these issues. It's so, I know I'm not the only one because I saw this other guy have the same thing, but I also know if you dedicate your time to a class and learning something, you want it to be a good experience. So I'm going to do my best. Today, we are talking about something that I'm very excited about, and that is early labor. And actually, let me share my screen. Oh man, Christina, thank you so much. Thank you for the super sticker. For those of you that have never seen the super stickers are a way to support the channel. And I think they are as low as $1, or something like that. But they're very supportive, so thank you. Helps me make sure I can keep going with the free classes, which I love. Okay, let me get my slides up. Audio is okay, Melissa says. Jeff says very choppy, poor video quality. We're just gonna try. We're just gonna try. Yes. Thank you, Judy. So Judy, that is what I'm gonna do. Judy says, plug my computer directly into router via Ethernet. Yep. You don't know unless you try. Gotta try. So hello, you guys that are in the chat, you have been here before. If you haven't been here before and this is your first night, welcome. And if you're able to hear me and see me okay, just let me know in the chat maybe where you're watching from if you haven't said that, or if you want to share your due date or how far along you are, whatever you want to share, whatever you're comfortable with, works for me. Tonight is just like, and in the meantime, Hunter is going to help me in the chat. Thank you. Be my support team. Each night we have the same setup. We talk about a topic on how birth works. So whether that's anatomy or stages of labor, different things to help you know how it's going to go. So that's our first section. Our second section, we talk about a coping strategy for dealing with labor. And then at the end, we have time to do a small practice with questions. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Alice Turner. I am a doula, a childbirth educator. I started out as an engineer and realized that birth work was really what was my passion. And I have been in this industry, in this field, for going on my 16th year. And I've supported 300 couples, more than 300 couples in person, in both Atlanta, Seattle, and one birth in California for a good friend. So welcome to doulas, to people expecting, and partners. Welcome to all of you guys. Tonight, we are going to talk about early labor. Now, if you didn't receive an email from me and you want to be in the know, make sure you check out the link below below the video on YouTube about being an insider. Getting on that list, I usually send an email the day of. I just sent it out maybe an hour ago with information about the course and all the links and all that. But I also want to share that, let's see if I can bring it up, that I just set up a page on my website where you can find access, and let me make that a little bit bigger for you guys, where you can find access to all of the previous classes and all the upcoming classes. So down here, I have picked out a GIF, or set up a GIF from each of the videos from our previous classes, and then you can click on and when you are ready for the next class. And I think it was Justin, I don't know if I see him yet, last night that asked about whether or not I was going to set up what the topics are, but I'm going to work on that this weekend. And check back on this page if you're interested in finding out what topics are coming up, though I reserve the right to change them if we need to change them. So hello to everyone in the chat, Salt Lake City. We've got Cora as a birth doula. Awesome. Monique, I didn't know you were in Canada. Awesome. Number 2. Great. San Francisco. So nice. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So tonight we're talking about early labor. And I want to first off say that most of what I'm talking about when it regards to early labor is that it's really applies mostly to first timers. Now, not more about our coping strategy to first timers. So if you're expecting a second, a third, a fourth, whatever baby, and you're watching this, please know that what I'm saying about ignoring and denying and some of that, take that with a grain of salt. So not to single out Monique, but since you did share that you're due with number 2, if your choice is between sleeping right now or watching tonight's show, you might want to sleep because it is going to be very heavy on that first timer. Though everybody is welcome, but you'll see when I start talking maybe why I'm suggesting that you sleep. Quality is better now. Excellent. Last sip of tea. Oh, Justin's wife is here. Hello, Justin's wife, Megan. Welcome. Video is great. Just in time for us to talk. Early labor. Okay. This is a topic that I feel strongly about. I know I feel strongly about a lot of topics. I say that, I'll probably say that like 10 more times. But after witnessing so many labors along the way, it has become just crystal clear to me that how early labor goes really has a big impact in most cases on how the rest of labor goes. So do you guys remember last night when we were talking about contractions and we did the 10 centimeters, the 10 hours, and how many of the hours would it be in early labor? Let me know if you remember how many of the 10, if we had a 10-hour labor, how many of those hours would be early? Let me know in the chat. You guys did also a really good job of guessing that last night, I remember. Yes, 8. 8, Mrs. Desai says, 8 says Jeff. Yeah, 8. So if we think about it, 8 out of our hours are early labor, then early labor is really important, okay? Early labor is something that if we can get right, then we can sail into active and transition successfully, is really what I believe. So I want you to think about early labor. Gosh, whenever I teach this, I always come back to this one phrase. And it is, don't be in labor until you're in labor. Okay? So here's what I'm talking about. Have you ever been the passenger in a car on a long road trip? So my family, we do lots of road trips. We've seen most of the states, actually, the United States, much of Canada. We love it. It's fun. It's not always easy with kids, 4 kids. Some hours seem longer than others. But have you ever been like on a road trip and you're the passenger and you fall asleep? And you fall asleep and you sleep for quite a while and you wake up and say you had many hours ahead of you and you woke up and you realize, I've just slept a couple hours. I missed a couple hours of, driving, of nothing going on. Say you didn't drive through anywhere exciting. It's an awesome feeling, right? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you're getting me. If you are able to say you had like a flag that came out, right? Like a pop-up timer on a turkey that was like, oh, labor starts, and you noticed it. And then you knew exactly how long it was. And those first like 5 hours you could ignore them. You could have slept. You want to be sleeping. Like you don't actually need to know exactly when labor starts. It's kind of a weird concept. And I realize that because most of us at the end are like so ready to be done and waiting and worrying about maybe concerned about an induction coming up, maybe concerned about, what would happen if you go too long, feeling, just not feeling good at the end, not sleeping good at the end, that we're looking for signs, right? We're looking for signs of labor to start. And there are signs that labor is getting going. They're all the exciting ones that childbirth educators love to talk about, like diarrhea, loose stool. Yes, very, very good sign that labor is on the way. Bloody show, mucus plug, all of those good signs that something is going on. But labor can be very long for first timers, especially. And if we can spend at least part of labor not being mentally in labor, then we're off to a better start. Tell me your thoughts in the chat. Tell me your thoughts about this so far. Is this making sense? Because sometimes when I'm teaching this in a class where I can see people's faces, kind of give me some looks like, I don't know about this, Alice. I'm taking this in, but not really sure. Not sure if I'm going to believe that. I also had a student one time when I was teaching in person. It was actually a small class, like 3 couples. And I said, are you guys getting this strategy? Do you feel like you have some, you understand early labor, not the strategy, but understand early labor? One of the moms was like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I've got to be in labor. So, okay. Yay. So, okay. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Tara. Yes. Deal with pain better. Tara says, yes, absolutely. Worrying about labor will make it drag even longer. Yes. Okay. So not being in labor until you're in labor has, there's a coping strategy that I'm going to talk about called denial and sleep. I'm going to talk about that one, but I want to talk about a couple other things that are going to make this easier for you, easier to not be in labor. Yes, Megan, easier said than done, right? Don't tell friends and family that you're in labor, okay? If you think you're in labor, until you know you're in labor. Now, last night, I gave a very clear, how do you know you're in labor? That has to do with contractions. Post it in the chat if you know, okay? It's like the definite that this is labor contractions. So I recommend not telling friends and family, because if you've ever been on the other side of someone in labor, like if you're on the waiting side, it feels like 1,000 times longer than the person in labor. Yeah. It's so hard to be on the other side. So if you do a favor to them and not tell them until you really know, if you must tell them, I highly recommend that. Okay. Also, don't be one of those people that have to check off your entire to-do list. I've seen this so many times. You think you're going into labor, early labor, it's early labor. Maybe you're starting to feel, like Jeff says, that start, the peak and the end, and you're like, okay, this is early labor. Don't feel like you have to get every to-do done. How many times have I talked to people on the phone and they're in early labor and they are just stressed out because they had to wash the baby's clothes. They wanted to, make some kind of meal beforehand. They wanted to get some work project done. I've been there. I've actually been the doula that showed up at someone's house. They were in really heavy, I would say between active and early labor. And she was at her computer finishing a work project, stopping, laboring, stopping. And this is like 2 a.m. I mean, it's okay. Obviously, everybody chooses their own strategy. But if you guys are coming to me because I've seen tons of births, right? And I know about births. So if we had a best case strategy, that's what I would tell you. So other things to do is treat your body like you would like you were going to go on the biggest run of your life, the biggest hike of your life, and it was going to start soon, any minute. So that means drinking water, hydrating, drinking electrolytes, staying hydrated. Actually, I pulled out my favorite water bottle. Look at this funky thing. You guys might have seen it if you've seen my videos because I'm in love with this thing, the hydrant. If your partner, the partner can just hold the bottle and put this in front of your mouth and you're like, oh, I need to do that. It kind of reminds me of a hamster in a cage, but it's awesome. Drink if you're in labor. Eat like normal meal times, early labor. Rest as long as you can. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. It is, I can't say it enough, how important it is in early labor to not be in labor for as long as possible. Now, there are a few times that I want you to notice if you're in early labor. If your water breaks in early labor, definitely need to call your provider. That is usually a call no matter who you're seeing, midwife, doctor, call your provider. If you notice in early labor that the baby's not moving like they should, like they have been, their normal pace, I would definitely make sure you eat something, maybe even eat something sugary to check on baby, and call your provider. If you have a headache, if you have blurred vision, if you have excessive bleeding, like a period, all of these, important to call your provider. So I don't want to say, like, just pretend nothing's happening. No. But if you're like, I think I have some menstrual cramps, or I'm feeling these, but I'm still talking. If you're talking to your partner through the contractions, you should be resting and just waiting for them to get stronger because it's not big and real. I would call your doula if you have a doula. Give them a heads up. Doulas always have great information. They'll ask you questions. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Make sure you're doing this. That's always good. And keep in touch with your doula that way. So don't be in labor until you are in labor. Checking in chat. You guys let me know. How are you thinking about this? And I want to share with you a story about hiking Mount St. Helens while I'm waiting for you guys to let me know in the chat. Questions about early labor and this topic. So when my family, we have hiked as a family Mount St. Helens twice. So if you're not familiar with Mount St. Helens, it is a volcano that erupted in 1980. I should know the date of that. I'm not sure. And it's in Washington State where we live, not too far, kind of closer to Portland, Oregon. And it is a doable hike, but you have to get like special passes. And it's long. It's hard. It's like it took us 13 hours, basically both times. So when I was doing it, all I kept thinking about is this is like childbirth. And what I mean by that is that it can be long, it can be physically taxing, and it can be mentally and emotionally taxing. Anytime that you are, you're in a place where you just can't quit. And that's what birth is. When you are in labor, there's no stopping. There's no like, can we just take a pause? Can we just pause this for a little while and go home? And that's what it is when you're on that hike on Mount St. Helens. There are times like when I was walking down, we did this year and last year, that I was just like, dang it. Why did we decide to do this again? This is really hard. I wish I could just like blink and end up in the car. You just have to keep going. Now, why am I talking about Mount St. Helens? Well, it's because we would never decide to start that hike at 10 p.m. at the end of our day, right? If we had a choice, we wouldn't. No, we did everything to set ourselves up so that we could do it optimally, so that we could, we went to bed early. We made sure we got a really good dinner. We made sure we had a really good breakfast ready. We made sure we had lots of water, all that stuff to set us up for the ideal situation to do this physical activity. So what I'm getting to around this is I recommend, as you are getting into those final weeks of pregnancy, if it's possible, and I know everybody has a lot of different situations out there and it's not always possible, but if it is possible, try to treat your life as if you don't know when you're about to go into that long physical activity. Now, one of the easiest things that I say easiest, it might be difficult, especially if you have older children. If you have other children, it could be difficult, or a job that demands late hours. But man, if you could go to bed early every night in those last couple weeks, I mean, and I'm not talking about like, really off your normal schedule, but like staying up and having like a late night movie when you're 39 weeks, staying up, having some long phone conversation into the night. You never know, labor might start. And if you don't get that rest, you're not going to have bringing your best into labor. So as much as you can prepare, like anytime you're going to go into labor, it's such a good idea for early labor. So what that means also is if in early labor you can sleep, that should be a top priority. So that means that we need to talk about my favorite early labor strategy. It actually has, I'm going to do a game show in a second. We're doing game show second after we talk about this coping strategy. And it is denial and sleep. So it's really what I've already been talking about. It's hard, okay? There's some tricks. One of my best tricks for denial and sleep is to take a bath. And a bath can calm early labor. Now, does anybody have a question in their mind? This is the most common question. Why would I want to stop labor when I've been waiting 40 weeks to start it? Anyone? Did anyone think that? Let me know. It is the most common conversation that I have with people in early labor when I'm a doula. Usually people call excited that labor has started and they're giving an update, which is great. Contractions are started. They're maybe like 10 minutes apart. They're lasting 30 seconds, but they've been going on for about an hour. And my first thing I say is, that's great. Sounds like early labor. Why don't you get into a nice deep bath to see if you can stop the contractions for a while and get some rest? And that is like not what anybody wants to hear, right? So let me know. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine someone saying, oh, good, you've started labor. Let me give you some tricks to stop. I want to know. I want to hear. I can't see your faces. I wish I could see. It's hard. A lot of times a bath and early labor can slow the contractions down enough that people can take a little rest. So here's the scenario. you've had a normal day, maybe you've had a work day, you are chilling on the couch, you notice menstrual type cramps. You're like, oh, I should go to bed. I should rest. You go up, you fall asleep for a while. You wake up, contractions are stronger. And what I say that you should do is take a bath. So taking a bath can start relaxing labor. Now, all I want is for it to slow enough for you to get a couple more hours sleep, to charge up that battery, to just give you a little bit more in the tank, just a little bit more. Because once active labor really starts, the only, stronger early labor and active labor, the only time that we really can rest, and even that is a little bit shaky sometimes, is if you decide to get an epidural. And, and then after that, it's like you've got a baby and a new life, and it's a lot. It is a lot. It's one of those things that's why I'm having this whole hour of a class basically to teach you the same technique of early labor, deny it, and sleep. So baths. Okay, see, Jeff, thank you. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for somebody to say the real thing of what they're feeling. Jeff says, not what my wife wanted to hear, but we will trust the expert. I love that. Thank you for trusting me, right? So if we had talked to an expert before we hiked Mount St. Helens the first time, they would have told us that you hardly can get up Mount St. Helens without these. These are hiking poles. If anyone out there hikes, Mount St. Helens is covered at the end with scree, which is kind of like sand, ashy sand. And your feet can't even get a hold. But if you bought these $23 hiking poles, you can get a grip and you can go up there. So if I had only talked to an expert and done a little bit more research, I would have had a more successful hike, as would have the rest of the 5 members of my family, some of which were crying, including me. It's okay. Also, like labor, tears happen. It isn't what you want to hear. I totally get it, Jeff. I totally get it, Jeff's wife. However, just keep thinking to yourself, I need to charge my batteries when I can. I need to charge my batteries. Because even if you're one of those people that you're just like a machine, you can survive on lack of sleep. You pulled all-nighters in college. You stayed up. You can go. The problem is your body doesn't like that. Your uterus goes, no, sorry, I'm not contracting as well because I'm tired. So, that's just not, your body's just not working the same. It's so important. Oh, Alan. Okay. Alan says, my wife is all for denying it and take a bath and nap instead. Okay. I've got one that's following, though Jeff said that they'll trust. So that's good. I like this. Okay. Here's a good question. Is it Kyla? Kyla, does your body still make progress without the contractions in early labor? It's weird. Your body can have progress. You can have dilation. You can have the consistency of your cervix can change without noticeable contractions sometimes. Like if someone gets a cervical check at 39 weeks and they say, oh gosh, you're already 1 centimeter dilated. Have you been having contractions? People might be like, no, not that I know of. That happens, but not significant change. Significant change usually takes a good amount of work and noticeable contractions of the uterus. Yes. I like this, Tara. Sounds like early labor is a last opportunity for a while for much needed self-care. I like that spin on it. I like that spin. And you know what? It's not just about your own self-care too. Yes, it's about your own self-care, but for people who are bad at self-care, I don't want I've seen this school of thought where people are like, unless you tie it to the baby, sometimes they don't want to do it like for selfish reasons. But if I said like, it's best for the baby if you sleep right now, it's best for the baby if you take a bath and then take a nap. Sometimes that's the mental strategy. We all have to work with our mental strategies that help us get through these things, right? But I like that idea of self-care of like, hey, maybe I need to just chill out for a little bit. Don't do my to-do list, right? Some of those things can just wait. That's good self-care. Now, Keisha says, our labor and delivery doesn't have a shower. Yes, or a shower or a tub. So what I'm talking about getting in the bathtub is really, I'm talking about mostly if you're at home in early labor. So thank you for asking that question, because I did not clarify that. This is mostly at home in early labor is the bath. If you are in the hospital in early labor, you still might be able to get into the bath. But a lot of people, I would say, if you're in the hospital in that really early labor, the time where you can sleep, I really suggest just trying to sleep. And that if you are in an induction, and speaking of induction, I do not see Tim in the chat. I hope that they had their baby. He was here 2 days in a row during an induction watching class. So I've been thinking about him today. But if you are in an induction and it's early labor, you probably don't have as many options to take a bath. And also inductions are trying to start labor. So we don't really have that option to try to deny and rest. I mean, deny and stop labor, because they're trying to start it. So your best bet there, if you're in the hospital and you need this strategy, rest until you can't rest anymore. So that very first sentence I said when I started talking about early in labor, don't be in labor until you have to. Very, very good strategy with an induction. Be doing anything else. Okay, so we talked about taking a bath. I know I mentioned it last night. Don't start timing the contractions until you definitely feel that start peaking it. Okay, that helps with that denial. Because have you guys, do you ever, wake up in the middle of the night, and if you like start your brain going, it's harder to go back to sleep. You guys know what I mean, right? Like if you look at your phone, or you look at the clock, or maybe turn on lights. If you do something like that, it's like sometimes your brain turns on and then you can't bring your brain down from being on. I know I'm like that. Like I don't let myself look at my phone or clock or anything. Yes, thank you, Keisha. So I want you to kind of think about it like that also with labor. If you're kind of like, I don't know if this is labor, and it's the middle of the night, I just want you to just go, and try to go to sleep. This is harder. I know this is harder than what I say. But if you can take even just a little bit of it and rest, you are going to, it's going to be such a huge difference. I'm hearing you if you're thinking something like, what if maybe I'm an anxious person or I'm an overthinker. That's where I would rely on a partner, a support person, really heavily. And this is something to talk about with whoever the person is that's going to support you, your partner, a doula, a family member, whoever's your support person. You got to rely on them to help you through this, to say, the partners need to say, it's our time for rest. Here, come down. Let's just lay on the bed together. We can just, chat, or let me play you that podcast that always puts you to sleep. Here's some water. Here's some water. And I'm turning on this podcast. We don't need to time contractions now. Let's wait a bit. Using all those phrases that are going to be helpful of just helping kind of quiet the anxious mind, quiet the overthinking mind, and do your best. What if you can't? What if you can't make this happen? That's okay. But find a middle ground. If the middle ground is you can't fall back asleep, but you can watch, your favorite show on Netflix, lying on the couch. Okay. You're being restful. I'm fine with that. I approve that. If it's pacing around and obsessing about touching the app, oh, my kid's school is calling. That's not approved. I don't approve that. Don't do that. That's not going to set you up for the best. Here is where I want to do our game show. And there's no buzzer involved. I'm changing up the game show a little bit. This is going to be a brainstorm. Okay. So get on your chat, get ready. And if only we were in person, you guys could just yell it out to me, but I'm going to visualize you yelling at me. What I want is to fill the chat with restful ideas, not sleep, because I already harped on sleep enough, right? This is the next stage when you can't sleep. What are some restful ideas of things that you can do in early labor? Blow up the chat with your ideas. No idea is dumb. No idea is wrong. I'm not going to use the buzzer on any of them. I love to hear people's ideas for early labor. And criteria, if you're wondering, is like it's something that is, maybe easy for you, positive, things that you enjoy, something that doesn't take a whole lot of, you're not solving the Rubik's Cube or something, but I just pulled that one out from the 80s. Something that's restful. Okay, I love these. Ooh, watching movies with my kids. I love that one, Lizbeth. I think I saw that you were expecting, meditation, third baby maybe? That's awesome. Reading is great. Meditation, especially if you meditate regularly, golden. Listening to music. Oh my gosh, Hunter. I'm a music lover too. Totally. Movie marathon. Did you guys know that, Alan, I love this suggestion. The first time I saw the movie Dodgeball, I was thinking, I'm going to forget the name. Dodgeball, the movie, was during a birth with a client who was being induced. So it was a long time that we were there. And she loved the movie so much that she played it just over and over. As soon as it ended, she played it again and again because it was just like that background noise that she loved. It was the first time I had seen the movie, which was kind of hard because I was trying to focus on her and help her, but I was like, what's happening? I've never seen this movie. Sorry. Got to share a little story. A great novel. Oh, slow dancing. I love that. Ooh, crossword puzzles. That would be fun, even to work with a partner. I love that. Jeff, that's an awesome one. Play a board or a video game. I love that one. Very cool. Watch a movie, drinking tea. Oh, try a new recipe. That's fun. A lot of people love to cook in early labor. There's actually this old-fashioned idea of making a birthday cake. So setting up a cake so that the cake is done and then you have it when you get home from giving birth, which is very cool. This is a great one. Reading a Bible, worshiping. A lot of people find so much comfort in prayer during that time. Sudoku, very good. Maybe easy. Those can be challenging. Oh, Alan says already has a plan. Watch all the Lord of the Rings. Nice. Alan, tell me, do you know how many hours that is? I do not know. I admit that I've seen them, but I don't know the hours. Not admit. I definitely have seen them. Oh, good one. Kate, I like this one. Kate says cuddling. So cuddling can sometimes increase oxytocin, which helps speed up labor. It's actually a great way if you feel like labor is slowing to speed it up. So Kate, I love this. Just make sure you've rested maybe before you start cuddling because it might pick stuff up. Very good. About 9 hours, Alan says. Woo! Christine says 12. Oh, Kate, I like this. Kate says her husband would like that idea. It puts you to sleep. See, this is good. That would be great. You guys have awesome. Yes, watching The Office again. That is, I totally have had clients that watch The Office in early labor. Yes, totally. It's just, watching something that you can like check out, right? And then you check back in. You're like, you know exactly what's going on. This is such a fun activity to talk about with your partner. Make this when we think about and compare it to hiking. I hope someone, my hiking analogy, I hope is resonating a little bit, but I'm sticking with it. That beginning phase of the hike that we were in the trees, and it was an awesome adventure. Let me tell you, I might need to share a picture somewhere of us on top of the mountain. But, it's like if we think of these phases and stages of labor, labor's long. And so it's great to have like little sections that, like, hey, this is the section that we watched The Lord of the Rings. And then things got strong and you were like, turn the rings off. Then we know, okay, it's getting serious. And then, you had to get up, you had to move and get on the birth ball. You had to start doing some rocking, while you're watching. It's good to have some planned activities. And remember last night, if you were here last night, and we talked about the different positions that you want to be in labor, think about that too. Think about, talk to your partner about, what's labor going to look like? Oh, we're going to watch Lord of the Rings, and we're going to have the ball here. We're going to have extra pillows. So you can lay on the couch or you can kneel on the couch. I'm going to have the water. We bought some special snacks. Who doesn't love buying special snacks for an event? Has anybody here bought special snacks or you might not be that close, but thought about special snacks that they want for their Labor Day? If you set up special snacks and have special snacks for early labor and to bring to the hospital or birth center wherever you're giving birth, make sure you buy extra to have at home when you're breastfeeding, because it's so important. Did I ever show you my slide? Sleep in denial is my official coping strategy. It's so important to have snacks when you're breastfeeding. Back to snacks. So don't just bring them all to the hospital with you. Like, have a stash that for breastfeeding and a stash for the hospital. Time with new baby, time at the hospital. Also, I'm making a little bit of a turn here, but I want to throw out there to let you know that bring as much things and packing for birth as you can. Like, I tell my families I work with, if you're not embarrassed about the amount of bags you're bringing into the hospital, then you didn't bring enough. Because a lot of times, let me preface this by saying this is different for wherever you are in the country and when you're giving birth in the COVID situation. But I know out here in Seattle, a lot of the cafeterias are closed and you either have to order up or order out, or it's just the flexibility isn't there. So that make sure you have that planned. And it's something fun, right? Who doesn't like to think about things they're going to do in early labor and snacks that they're going to eat in early labor? I love it. Yay. Okay. What else? Tell me about questions. Tell me if you have questions about this strategy. Partners, again, we got to promote this. Now, I always get the question, should I wake my partner up if I'm in early labor and I'm doing fine? And this is not a one-size-fits-all answer. This really has to do with you, the person, well, you and partner. Whenever I teach, I'm kind of talking to both of you guys, whoever's out there, and support people at the same time, whether or not you're partnered. But if it is helpful to have someone with you, and you need them to help you get back to sleep, or help you rest, or help your anxiety be calm, or just to help take care of you, like as far as reminding you to eat and drink, then I think it's critical that you have support. If you're someone who's like, I'm going to be better off just chilling without someone else watching me or talking to me, or like, getting me stimulated with conversation, then I would say maybe let your support person sleep. So, and it's a good thing to talk about in person, or, talk about labor. I'm amazed sometimes that people don't always talk about how they think labor is going to go and how they can be best supported. So I have 10 minutes left. Oh, Hunter, you're so good. I love it. It's like we planned this, but we didn't. Oh, play games. Oh, watch Americans Got Talent. I love that. Okay, it's time to talk about practicing. So we're all going to curl up and be in denial that we're practicing. No. Was that a bad joke? That was kind of a silly joke. Practice is different tonight. So I want to talk about practice. Sharing my screen, practicing questions. We're going to do a 30-minute practice, 30-second practice, just like we have, because we got to keep it up. But since we can't practice, what we talked about, because this is, everything we talked about today is before you have to do breathing strongly, and really start with the coping. So what I want to do is just practice 3 of the layers, the 3 layers that we have done before. So that would be telling me the 3 layers. We have enough time for you guys in the chat to tell me what are the 3 coping strategies we've done before. So I'll wait for you guys to put that in there. And then I want to talk to you, though, about a video that I didn't pull up, but I know I sent it to the insiders, and I will put it below here as well. But it is a link to, or it's a video that I did called Practicing with Ice. And what you do is you watch this video, and I have it timed where you can see, and I change the music. You change the music so it's paced exactly where you can test out 3 contractions, I believe, that are 5 minutes apart. So that is homework for tonight. I would love it if you have time between class tonight and class tomorrow night. If you're joining me tomorrow, which we're going to have the giveaway, so you're joining me tomorrow. Hopefully you can. And give that practice video a look and try. I would love to hear some feedback if you guys tried that, if it was difficult, what you used, your strategy, okay? Okay, I heard from Christina, breathing. Yes, breathing was 1. Monique says loose goose. I like that. Loosey goosey. Instead of loosey goosey, loose goose. I love that. That's awesome. Breathing and movement. That's right. So the limp and loose and labor, loose goose, breathing, and movement. Those are the 3. Okay. So we are going to do just 30 seconds like we always do. Let me get my screen all set up. And then on the other side, I will be waiting for you. Again, do the nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. Get in a position where you can try some movement, try some swaying, try out the Captain Morgan, 1 leg in a chair, sit on the ball. Jeff, maybe Jeff's wife, are you sitting on the ball again? Get in a position, right? And then check in with the parts that we feel tense, right? Shoulders. Are we clenching hands? Do we have jaw? So we're going to nice and loose and test it out. And I know you guys are ready. Okay, let's get those 30-second practice in. How'd we do? I'm always, after that first day when my husband said, oh, you're going to lose people in the 30-minute practice, which we did, I always am like staring at the little number of how many people are watching to see, did I lose anybody during practice? And we didn't lose anybody. You guys all hung in there. Tell me which ones you did. I want to hear from which ones you tried, what you tried out. Oh, Jeff, gotcha. Swelling is good. Getting rid of swelling is important. Another thing, Jeff just shared that his wife had her feet up to help with swelling, which is excellent. Another thing that you can try if you do have a bathtub, is to do an Epsom salt bath. That can help with swelling, and those are really great idea at those weeks of pregnancy where you're feeling just worn out and just swollen and that kind of thing. So Epsom salt bath. Kate, see, now this is what I like. It feels like way less than 30 seconds, right? Yes. And that is really, I'm going to attribute it to practice. That when you have strategies and you have a plan, that you can jump into those strategies. Awesome. Lizbeth said she did elephant walk on the counter since my side joint is hurting. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Shaking hands upwards, loosey-goosey, swayed back and forth, doing some shoulder rolls, is what Tara said. That's awesome. So if you have, if you're watching this with your partner, then you're on the same page. If you're not, bring your partner, bring your support person up to the same page to make sure that you know what is going on and what works. As you are practicing, especially if you do that ice practice, you'll find some things seem to work better than others. Make note of that. Like, this doesn't work as much as that. This feels good. This doesn't. And we're going to, we're only on day 4 and we're going to go through coping strategies all the way up, 10 more days of coping strategies, all the way up till the 14th. So you're going to learn some that might feel like, no. And others that's like, yeah, that feels good. That's going to work. So make sure that your partner or your doula, support person, whoever is on the same page. Okay, wrapping up. Tomorrow night, Saturday, we're going to do our giveaway. I didn't mention the book. If you ordered a book yesterday, I know I sent some out today. Again, if you grab the book now, it comes with this fan, which is awesome. Tool for labor. If you are interested in the book, look in the link below. There's also a link to our 8 handy handouts, which right now has a bonus of the ebook for partners. So that is available. Other links down below, like if you ever want to know which, the water bottle or all sorts of things, snacks, whatever, I share down below and on the website. And also, if you want to be an insider, make sure that you fill out the form. If you ever need to get in touch with me or want to share a story or information, don't hesitate to send a comment. Put a comment in the video and let me share. I'm going to make sure I share. I don't use my banners as much as I should on here, but my email is info@supportingher. And finally, I can't not mention Supporting Her because it is what was my first online course, or not first, but like big online course. And it's for partners. So partners really speaks right to their role. And I'm really passionate about teaching people about childbirth, but I love preparing partners. And that's what I always point the wrong way. Look, it's that way. It's like a mirror. Supporting Her. There's the link. That was fun. It's time for dinner. thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you taking your time out of your day, especially at the end of a lot of you, especially if you're on the East Coast, in that Eastern time zone. It's late, and I appreciate you spending time. And, it is so valuable to take time and prepare for birth. Birth is a life-changing experience that a lot of us only go through once, twice, a few times. And so, getting ready and preparing yourself with this knowledge and practice, it's not a waste of time. So I really appreciate you. Thank you again for sticking with me through that tech issues. And I'm so excited about seeing you guys tomorrow night. And have a good day tomorrow. Until next time, keep up the practice. Check out that ice video too. Okay, guys? Thanks. Bye.